Oh yeah, folks, it's happening. It is happening. I'm not talking about a squeeze yet, not as of yet, but we all know how the end of this whole story is going to be. All right, but I want to share with you when I talk about it's happening, because what happened today, it's exactly what we expected the market to do, and how and what it will mean for AMC stock moving forward, maybe in the near future, but definitely directly correlated to the short squeeze. So what am I talking about? First of all, you can see that every single index in the US market just turned green. The market closed literally 2 minutes ago, and at the time I'm recording this video, everything is green. But it wasn't the case. It wasn't the case, especially when the Dow Jones was down almost more than 2.5%, the Nasdaq almost 4%, and AMC part of the index Russell 2000, which was also down big, was down 20% at some point and managed to recover pretty good, but still ending 7.4% in the red. How come? It's not even worth commenting, the price action of today, because it's not the reality of things. What is the reality is when you look at the performance of the Nasdaq, for example. Okay, let's go back to 2020. 2020 was one of the years. This is 2020 here. All right. So February 2020, everything went back down and everything losing 30 to 40%. And immediately the same year, literally 90 days after, boom, everything went back up and went all the way up and went up again in 2021. One of the main reasons behind this, and bunch of experts on the street call on this, was about leverage. Money was so cheap. Money was so cheap to get at your bank, to get at your brokerage account, to get liquidity from your, market maker. Money was so easy to get that people just, by people I mean the big boys, on Wall Street, just dump all that money, all that easy money they could get, in order to put it at work in the stock market, pushing the prices higher and higher, pushing the prices higher and higher. Of course, it dipped here, but if you observe 2021, the main theme in 2021 in the stock market was buying the dip. Anytime there was a dip, boop, it was literally butt up. But now things are starting to change. Since this year, let me go to the year to date. Look at this year. Things are starting to change dramatically. And that's what we wanted, because it has the potential of hurting those who are hurting us in AMC and GameStop play. Why? Because money back at the end of December, literally, if you look here at the end of December, the Fed said, the central bank said, hey, you know what? We're not going to continue to have this easy money policy going into 2022. And literally after that, boom, stock market everything just started to drop, from the Nasdaq to the Dow Jones to the S&P 500 and even to crypto now, because bunch of these banks, bunch of retail investors also used those margins in order to buy crypto. And now that is going to be very expensive, not only very expensive to continue to sustain those short positions, to sustain, the same investing habit and process and methodology that was used the last year and in 2020. But on top of that, you also have the fact that nobody knows exactly how expensive it's going to be. We know for sure it's going to be hell of expensive, but nobody knows exactly to which extent it's going to be that much expensive. So based on that, it's no surprise that people are selling off. People are, starting to move some stuff around, getting out of the Nasdaq, getting into what we call the cyclical or the value-ish stock, AMC included. Now, the thing is, AMC is also being dragged into this whole thing, this whole market sell-off. But the reality is nobody, and by nobody I mean nobody within the retail community, is really selling. When markets sell off, it's really easy for the short sellers because the market is in their favor. So on top of the market manipulation, you also have the market being dragged, the stock being dragged based on, the index Russell 2000, and the market as a whole being red. Everything is just bloody red since the beginning of this year. But the good news is, and this is the critical point I wanted to share. The good news is, as this goes down, The reason behind it is because people are starting to deleverage, meaning they want to get out of these risky positions. They want to get out of something that will not help them make as much money in 2022, even though we know it's going to be as close as the performance of 2021 because it was a record year, for the market in general. That's why we're seeing these markets sell off. But what it means for AMC is, as they are starting to deleverage, it's also pushing the positions that they have down. And because the near future, like March, June, Q1, Q2, 2022, nobody knows exactly what the Fed is going to do as of now. Maybe Wednesday, Thursday, when they disclose what they decided for the monetary policy, maybe we'll know more, we'll have more details. But as of now, nobody knows, and that's why people are freaking. But it's a good news for us because the deeper the market go, the better we have chances of the short sellers being cornered. All right. And I don't know exactly what this will happen. I don't know exactly when AMC will start moving back up because nobody knows. But I'm pretty sure that the new highs that we saw here in June 2021, the 70 is definitely not the highest price we've seen in AMC stock. And because of that, I'm willing to take a little bit of, step back behind, seeing my gains fade just for a temporary time before actually seeing the big money, the real money, the tendies coming back. So that's why I'm staying patient.